Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here as we are in the Game 3 draft between MG Element and Team Ishtar, the final semi-final for the Black Twitch League, Season 12. Adam, what a game that we had for Game 2. Game 1 was that crazy ending, and Game 2 was just a back-and-forth slugfest, but ultimately MG Element came out on top off the backs of Venom and King Annihilator.
Yeah, honestly, well played from the solo lanes from MG Element, and oh my goodness, they're just racing through draft here. I like to see them both on carries, and I like to see them both play their own style. Team Ishtar need to adapt their draft for that.
This time around, it looks like Jinx is the pickup here for MG Element. They banned away the Caitlyn, so there's a pretty clear sign that it was going to be their Jinx all along.
Yeah, and the Jinx is still an incredibly strong pick. You've got to be incredibly careful about the power that she's able to bring. We mentioned it game 1. Give her a kill, one singular kill, she may be able to take it the entire distance. And out of blue, been playing the Xayah both games thus far, this time opting in for that Jinx. Very curious to see how it plays out, especially since late game carry is on the Rakan, and I'm just going to make sure that my teams are in order. Yes, that is the case, MG Elements on blue side.
There is one thing to worry about after picking this Jinx. So that allows the Nautilus pick up here. Nautilus, typically the counter to Zeri, but also has a fairly good time against the Jinx as well with the point-and-click CC. And when you take a look at this bottom lane, Adam, Ezreal Nautilus does not mix very well.
Ezreal plus Nautilus is an interesting combo because it's aggressive AD carry in a lot of ways with safety. I want to say Ezreal is not just a sit back and relax AD carry. They can play very aggressively. I'm curious to see. Oh, you know what? Side note. I am curious to see how this Ezreal Nautilus works out. Not only because it has the agency to be aggressive, but because Tygoon is back in. Tygoon is in for game 3. This is someone who has been incredibly aggressive as an AD carry, and if they're going to pilot this Ezreal, I'm expecting them to E forward.
Listen, it is goon time in the bottom lane. And I have to give some credit here, right? Frostbite had a pretty solid game 1, and in game 2 they were doing their thing, and then they just let it get away from them. And I can't help but feel that Frostbite really wants that one back, and they're gonna have to have a long think about that as they ride the Pine this time around. So it is a big shift though, and it is something that side of MG Element needs to worry about. We see a Mordekaiser lock-in out of MG Element. Somebody was watching LCS finals today.
Yeah, someone watched the good old top die strat there, and Mordekaiser is a strong pick into Ornn regardless. You're able to prevent them from getting the second half of their ultimate off, or just they have to use their ultimate in the Death Realm. Nothing too fun about that, and oh my goodness. Okay, King Annihilator is dropping it on him.
Yo, this team composition, this is a feast or famine team comp. I was going to talk a little bit about the Diana and even Jinx to a certain extent. Those are feast or famine champions. And when you opt into that sort of strategy, you want some stability. Mord, Aurelia, they're either winning this game 20 kills to 1 or losing 1 kill to 20.
It's very much in line with what we would expect out of the team like MG Element. They round out the comp, though, at least Team Ishtar here, with a new... Is this Nunu mid?
Is it Nunu jungle, Olaf top, Ornn mid?
It's Nunu mid. I think it's Nunu mid. I think it's Nunu mid.
Regardless of what it is, I am skeptical. I am skeptical of this team composition, mostly because Team Ishtar, they lacked the damage last time around, and they opt into 2 of the same champions in this composition that lack damage. They're going to pick up a Nautilus as the support, which also lacks damage. So even if this is a mid-Nunu that goes full AP, they're still missing damage.
I think that they have very slow damage with their comp, which isn't always a bad thing. They've got very spaced out damage because you've got Ezreal who's kiting out, you've got Olaf who can go in, but it's still a lot of poke that's going to come through from Team Ishtar. I think the main thing is Evil Geniuses played a very similar comp to this, where Ezreal was basically their only damage that game. They came out on top. They were able to execute on it. I think Team Ishtar are looking for a little bit more safety this time around, trying to play on the back foot a little bit, play backwards, kite away from the likes of MG Element, and hopefully capitalize on overextensions from this Aurelia, from this Diana, from this Rakan, and then be able to turn the fight on its head.
I do have a fundamental problem of playing a composition that's reliant on your opponents making a mistake. And I feel like that's what Team Ishtar painted themselves into here. And I hate to be a doomer. I really don't like being a doomer. I don't like this, man. I think that this is a big mistake and a great way to give series momentum away after you just lost some of it.
And I think it is a very valid point to be skeptical of the team comp. I'm not going to defend it much more so than just saying what it is. And I believe that MG Element have the agency to really pop off this game because they have so much reset potential. It's something that has been mentioned a lot. A lot of these team comps, looking at the rise of Ahri, the rise of Viego, the rise of Jinx, what do all of those champions have in common, Yanni?
They got resets.
They got resets, and they reset after one kill. You need one kill in a fight, and then all of a sudden your team fight takes off. Jinx's power doubles. You know, Aurelia, she can find resets in a fight as well. She's able to stack up that Ionian Fervor, find an ult onto multiple members, get a whole bunch of dashes everywhere. How are you supposed to kill her? She does that in TFT. She's going to do that here as well. It's so difficult to take down teams when they've got resets, when they have inherent reset ability in their comp. And, you know, Aurelia, Diana, Jinx, that is their definition. It's just that they need to get that first kill. And sometimes into a team as tanky as Team Ishtar, that can be the hardest part.
Yeah, it is certainly going to be a little difficult. They're going to need to invest a lot of resources into killing Nunu, into killing Olaf. The mid-jungle duo for the side of MG Element is predicated on those Aurelia stuns because Diana's lack of any CC until she hits level 6. And even then, you are making a conscious decision to not farm for level 6 and actively try to fight.
And I think that in this game specifically, Tygoon coming in, you know, off of the pine here saying, I am going to try and carry this game. It's going to be a lot of weight. I think that this is a very emotion-ridden game for both of these teams. You don't want to put yourself against the match point. You don't want to have your backs up against the wall. And I think Tygoon coming in here, playing this Ezreal, this is a champion that has so much agency against reset-heavy comps because you've got that extra mobility. You've got the Arcane Shift to get out of trouble if necessary. But if you die, where does your damage go? It gets so much more challenging after that.
Yeah, and never mind the fact that Ezreal is also going to be able to get some slows down once they get the Seralda's Grudge. Problem is, this team composition that he's staring down almost wants you to build an early Seralda's Grudge just for the slows.
Yeah, you've got to just be able to weather the storm of this early game. And I mean, as you mentioned, Seralda's Grudge going to be really nice to keep everyone at arm's length. But, you know, without a whole lot of armor, there's a little bit of that juxtaposition of item builds. You know, Ezreal has like 9-10 items that they can build and be effective on it. It's just about Tygoon selecting the right ones. This is a very good contender for something like a Prowler's Claw Ezreal. Will we see that? Very curious.
That is very spicy. I would not want to be Prowler's Clawing into those members of the enemy team. But we're going to Prowler's Claw ourselves to a very short break because we are in the spectator delay. When we return, the hyper carry MG Element against the Turtle Up Team Ishtar for Game 3. Welcome back, fam. We're on the Rift. It's the rubber match here. Game 3. This could turn the series any direction. Third game of this best of 5. Adam, we've got some issues with these team compositions, and they look like polar opposites. But it doesn't matter once you get on the Rift.
Oh my goodness, no.
That's one of the biggest snowballs I ever seen. That said,
Oh.
It's also one of the biggest snowballs that MG Element has ever seen because they walked over a ward.
Yeah, they're going to be able to spot that one out really well played. That's exactly what you do with Nunu mid, though. You roll snowballs down, you push that wave as quickly as possible. God, they need to stop just spam pinging in the base every single time, and I'm just going to swap these teams.
Come on, guys, jeez. Are we gonna yell at them once?
Yes, and by the way, it's always MG Element who do that.
Yeah, I know.
Overlay's now correct.
There we go. There we go. Excellent. Well done. Chicken the Wing, already getting his will imposed on by Venom. Dude needs an anti-venom somewhere, bro.
He got the tier stack. That's what's
okay. He's building tier because he's crying at this lane matchup, right? He's had such a hard time in 2 games.
Yeah, and game 1, Chicken the Wing was able to stand strong in the face of adversity. This time around, it's going to be even more challenging. I think even more so than the Aatrox matchup, but oh my goodness, look how aggressive they're playing on this bottom side. Team Ishtar.
Yeah, look at the slows coming out, although there's a knock-up and runner 90s in the area.
Oh my goodness.
My video game has to flash, the exhaust, the ignite, the last rocket, first blood, out of blue.
Yeah, and Tygoon just stopped auto-attacking late-game carry. I think you just keep going for those auto-attacks. You keep looking for more damage. If you go 1 for 1, 1 for 2 even, at least you're getting something back. But realistically, now Tygoon's down both summoner spells. They're going to be a prime target for Diana ganks even before level 6 comes around.
Hyper carry time for MG Element. This is exactly what they drew up with a composition like this. No more than 2.5 minutes into the game, and it already looks like they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's just so challenging to manage this lane lead that is already erupted. Out of Blue getting first blood is quite literally the worst person to give it to, except maybe the Aurelia in that sense, but it's a lane that you need to win. We talked about how Ezreal Nautilus has to try and win this lane, and you know, dying,
and they
giving up first blood
is... They open tier.
They open tier.
Yeah, like, if you're going to fight that, you know, you have to get a little bit of poke off and walk away, or you can't open tier. It's just the case of the bot laners not being on the same page.
Yeah, not on the same page, but it's... I mean, they're just going so aggressive once again. They need to find a kill here, right?
Oh, here's the heal. The Ignite goes down. Tygoon is in so much trouble. The ward goes down, well placed. Out of Blue getting another kill, and this is what happens when you open tier. The kiting by Out of Blue, almost magnificent. They will be able to get the second kill. This is a 3-kill Jinx at 3 minutes and 35 seconds. I don't know how much MG Element paid Danny to stand in for this game, but I want this org to pay me.
I mean, oh,
bruh. No. Okay. 1 for 1 in the top lane, but still a bra moment for Chicken the Wing.
I mean, this game is just falling apart from the get-go for Team Ishtar. I mean, you've got a Leeching Leer completed on the Mordekaiser here at 4 minutes. You've got Berserker Greaves plus double longsword on this Jinx as well. This is not good.
Death by video game biffs it. I think he's tilted, man. This is a rough start for Team Ishtar and not what they wanted to see. There's nothing more that you can say right now. It's just wrong.
It's falling apart. It's falling apart at the seams. And like this Nunu mid, I expected it to be a level 2 roam. I expected this just to be a snowball right down there. And King Annihilator has actually done a really good job in terms of having this Aurelia mid. It wasn't the pick, like it wasn't a counter pick or anything. It was just what was there into a Nunu mid, because now Nunu can't roam because Aurelia is able to keep the wave in the middle of the lane, even push it herself with her blade surges. So it's just looking really grim for the side of Team Ishtar, and I don't want to be pessimistic 5 minutes into a game, but I mean, if I'm watching this game, I'm like, okay, yeah, game 4. We're just moving on because it's getting doomed, but we'll see what they can accomplish to bring this game somewhat back.
Well, the ward was down, and they spotted that one out very well and baited that one well. Nothing Voperto can do, and you know what this game is like? You're Canadian, right?
Yes.
Canadian winter's very harsh.
Depends on where you live. Yes, we'll go with an Ottawa winter. I lived there. They were pretty harsh. Yes.
You got neighbors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Neighbors have old trucks. You know, you got an old neighbor with an old truck, maybe, that you know has to warm up the truck. You know, at the beginning of the winter, so they're driving to work or something, and they try to turn the key over on the truck, and the truck's just not starting. That is Team Ishtar. They are the truck, the old beater truck in the Canadian winter that is failing to start.
Honestly, I would even go so far as to say they're not even going to. They're going to.
I don't know if a car's supposed to make that sound. That might be the sound that Chicken the Wing made up in the top lane as King Annihilator absolutely ate him for lunch.
I mean, it's the expected result. I mean, Mordekaiser into Ornn is going to happen like that. And, I mean, if Runner 90, if King Annihilator rotating up to that side of the map as well, it's even more difficult. Diana might be in trouble with Runner 90.
I think
Escape's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody's okay, really. And how can you not be if you're MG Element? You're absolutely rolling right now. The only carry that doesn't have a kill is this Diana. You can see the amount of damage that this Jinx is still pumping out right now this early into the game is really rough for them to deal with.
Yeah, and it's this bot lane as well. I mean, Rakan is one of those champions that can really roam around the map, exert their will over wherever they so desire. And Venom as well. We've seen what they can do on these carries, and it's so disgusting to me that they've almost completed their Riftmaker here. They're like 1,000 gold off. If they didn't go for Boots, if they didn't go for Dark Seal, they'd have this complete at like 9 minutes. It's a lot of gold going into a Mordekaiser who is going to win that matchup incredibly hard. And if they take Ornn down to the Death Realm when they're able to find the kill on them, then you've got to deal with this Mordekaiser who just has a whole bunch of bonus armor and MR out of nowhere. And Nunu mid, is it the answer? At this point, yeah, I'm in the same camp as you. Oh, boy.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. They could have the turnaround here. King of oh, my God. He got blown up, bro.
That's the power of Nunu mid question? I mean,
that's the power of Pato, baby.
Yeah. I mean, Annihilator played himself there. He sort of just went for the play, went for the double dash, and then was like, ah, I'm in danger.
Before ultimate, you know, or stunned before the Nunu dropped the ultimate. And really, that's where this goose got cooked. It's going to be the Hextech Drake, but Voperto in the area looking to steal this one away. The engagement, he's gone unstoppable. He's going to steal it away, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 for right now. Out of blue in the back of the pit. Focusing on Tygoon. Out of blue. Triple kill, baby.
You get the dragon, but at what cost? And I mean, it's the biggest cost of them all. It's just more gold going into Out of Blue's favor. Druben can't even roll the snowball because the traps are just going to stuff any sort of engages they want to go for. It's, oh my goodness, this is... Jinxes should never be 6-1 at 9 minutes into the game.
Absolutely not. And, you know, this Jinx made it out of the ban phase, and I don't think Team Ishtar ever had a conceivable thought that it might be an MG Element pick. It's not something that Out of Blue typically goes toward. And Out of Blue, who, we'll say it, has struggled this series, having a coming out party here in Game 3.
And it's... We talked about it in the draft. I tried to defend Team Ishtar as much as I could, but even then I was like, yeah, this isn't really defensible in a lot of ways either. They've drafted so little damage. They're so reliant on Tygoon and Voperto just running over this game, and yet...
4 plates.
Yeah, like, and then this is happening. Like, your power lanes, you're not taking advantage of them. You're not trying to find advantages. Venom's going to be able to get out of this alive as well, I believe.
Oh, never mind. A half HP. Nah, he's not going to be able to live through this. Into the Death Realm. Druben picking up a second kill. The Shining Light, the last hope, really, for Team Ishtar, at least until Ezreal gets going. Druben with 2 kills.
Yeah, Druben doing their job. I mean, it's AP Nunu. It's a cheese pick. You just look to shove the wave and find damage elsewhere around the map. Will it be able to deal with the Jinx? Probably not, but I mean, it's something.
This is just mean.
It's mean. Like, I mean, Jinx being this fat, I mean, look at her gold as well. Yeah. She's sitting on 2,200. She's trying to freeze this wave as well against Tygoon. Like, she can back whenever, and it won't matter how much gold Ezreal picks up. She'll still have a gold lead.
Uh-oh, Druben doesn't have an ultimate here. Remember the Placidium, the flash forward. King Annihilator picks up a solo kill.
Yeah, remember the persimmon, because that's the only thing that Druben was able to eat in that play. Aurelia able to clean that one up incredibly easily, and it's the power of King Annihilator. They have these super high skill ceiling champions, and you go a little bit too deep if you're Druben, and you pay the price, and it's not a pretty one because you're going to lose. You lose a life there, you lose a farm lead as well, and despite Druben being sort of that shining light, the light is like you need to change the light. You need a battery or
The
something.
light's getting dim.
Yes.
Now, in fairness, Voperto, who's been a quiet 2-1-1 this game, did pick up first Herald during that mid play, so could find a way to maybe turn the game and get some gold onto a vital target. Uh-oh. Here we go. The engagement is here. Late game carry. The two-man taunt looking to get out Diana with the moonfall. Tons of damage, but goes 1 for 1. Now out of blue, trying to be the protection for late game carry. No further push, but Voperto, with this Rift Herald, looking to probably drop it down.
And despite the Herald being put down, it's not going to be first tower. It's very likely going to be going on that top side of the map. The Ornn has been trying to run damage control for the longest time.
About to die.
Yeah, Chicken the Wing is about to die as well.
Bleh.
Correction, they died.
Yes. And Venom is going to get first turret. Going to share the gold with King Annihilator because why not? And do me a favor. Oh no! Late game carry! Putting his hand in the cookie jar there, getting some for himself, his first kill of the game. However, it's Voperto, it's death by video game. They're going to have to dodge the traps. Out of blue with the sidestep. Can you do it again? Gets hit by the hook. Here's Runner 90. Big double knockoff. Out of blue is going to die. Runner 90 doesn't have the damage. 2 kills for Druben. All right, Team Ishtar is fighting a little bit. They got a little bit of fight in them yet.
I will say that they are not willing to give up. And a lot of that is coming through this Nunu who's able to just consistently roam around the map, is giving up CS wherever they can because they don't care. They're just looking to fight as much as possible. Everfrost now complete, so they've got a decent crowd control combo lined up.
7 stacks.
7 stacks on the ring, you know, it's more than they had on the Magi's last game. Do I think it's a winning play? No.
Savage.
Is it a glimmer of hope? Yes. Does the light bulb maybe have a couple more years of life left in it? Maybe. It's still really hard for me to support the team comp from Team Ishtar, and it's not because I'm trying to fanboy MG Element or anything. It's simply because in a long team fight, you run out of damage so quickly. Once the Nunu drops that ultimate, that's a lot of damage gone. Once the Olaf is out of the ultimate as well, that's a lot of your safety and damage gone as well. Then it's all up to Tygoon at that point. And these dragon fights, oh man. Not again!
3 man. We get a 4v4. Here we go. Big knockups out of blue in the back of the pit. There are the knockups. Look at the damage coming out. Late game carry trying to kite it out in the back of the pit, but will fall out of blue, doing what they can. It's 2 kills for Druben, 4 for 2, and another Drake going to the side of Team Ishtar.
It's another steal by Voperto. Runner 90 just, what's up with the smites here? And Team Ishtar making this way more competitive than it should have any right to be. It's, oh no, not like this, too soon. But yeah, Druben just rolls it in, and they're all grouped up around these dragons. You gotta find a pick before these dragons if you're the side of MG Element at this point, because it's not working just going for them 50-50.
Yeah, and realistically, now putting yourself a little bit further behind is problematic. You know, you're allowing the side of Team Ishtar to get into the game, and with an Ocean Soul as the soul here on the map, and 2 dragons up, Team Ishtar, I mean, they have something to play for now.
Team Ishtar have something to play for. It's, I just realized, no neutral objectives. Yes, they've got Ocean Soul to play for, and especially when you've got a Nunu.
Same, don't worry. I figured it out quickly.
Yeah,
I looked over, I'm like, what Drake is it? And I looked over, I'm like, oh, where are we?
Yeah. I mean, especially when you've got a Nunu with so much healing built into it, Ocean Soul is even better, and with how much poke that can come out from this Jinx, having that Ocean Soul can be absolutely massive as well, but I don't want to count out the comp from MG Element quite yet, despite them having a couple of really rough fights. Jinx is still 8-3-1. We can't deny that. Also of note, It is not going to be the Divine Thunder coming through. Not going to be the Trinity Force. That's Essence Reaver. So we'll find out what Tygoon opts to go for with their build. I'm still hoping for something like the Prowler's Claw or the Eclipse or something like that. But Yanni put his money on the Crown. We'll see what comes through, because Tygoon has a lot of onus here to do a boatload of damage this game. They have to be that primary damage dealer.
Yeah, and you know, if you need to be that primary damage dealer against a 4-threat composition like this, I think Crown is the way to go. But, you know, it's different strokes for different folks. If you want to deal more damage or you want to have more defenses, it's hard to go wrong either way.
And I think a lot of what MG Element are going to have to play for once again is Venom just showing up to these team fights on 2 items and saying, hey, you remember me? Just bonking down someone there in a big way. And, you know, just showing up to the White House, giving Joe Byron a big kiss on the mouth or something. That's exactly what Venom's going to do, except to the Nunu and not to Joe Byron.
Not to who?
Not to Joe Byron.
Joe Byron.
Joe Byron.
What's up, baby? Take me out to dinner.
Hey, yo.
Out of blue about to say, hey, yo! He's got to flash away. Ultimate's down.
Oh.
They're the save. Out of blue tries to survive but falls, and the turret dive is successful. I can't believe we successfully did that, Adam.
It worked out. It worked out. I mean, Out of Blue stayed alive for a really long time. I was surprised with how long they were able to extend that fight. But yeah, the 3-man squad on the bottom side looking detrimental. You gotta send, like, where's Runner 90? Runner 90's just lost in the sauce right now. Might be able to find a pick onto the Nunu, but you lost your tier 2 bot lane tower. And Team Ishtar, how are you back in this game?
It just feels like MG Element is just lackadaisical in their approach here. They thought that they may have already won the game because of how strong Out of Blue is, but I mean, if you don't give this guy some help, like, you're gonna have a really hard time moving forward here, because Team Ishtar is starting to get strong. The members that you don't want to get strong are getting there.
I think that...
Oh, here we go. Now Mord's going to join the fight. This could be a problem.
Oh,
he's going to get knocked up immediately. He's going to pull Druben into the death round. Druben's going to drop the ultimate. He's got the shield, but he flashes out. Druben low, forced to walk away. Here comes the Ornhorn coming down. It's going to land on a King Annihilator. Runner 90's taken out of the fight. The flash forward, flash for flash. But Peridot is on a killing spree. They turn on to Venom. They're going to kill Venom too. 2 for nothing in favor of Team Ishtar. They are alive.
What is going on? This is no right to be a comeback here from Team Ishtar. There. Oh, my goodness.
Trying to turn. Big charms Out of Blue.
Out of
Big
blue.
plays, baby. Turning on to Death by Video Game. They get 3 quick kills and not up the kill score and snatch the gold lead back.
My goodness, this game is just back and forth. Nothing to be expected. We said not a lot of damage, yet this Nunu now 7-2-5, dealing a lot of damage, even to Venom there. But then still, the Jinx is inevitable, finding another double kill there. Now they should secure themselves a nice old dragon here, right? No steal potential coming through. Vaperito's gonna reset. Oh man, this might be an actual BTL banger. Oh no, I don't want to say it quite yet.
Definitely. I mean, listen, man, we got 34 kills at 19 minutes. We got Nunu in the mid lane. We got 4 threat compositions here. If this ain't a BTL banger, bro, I don't know what is.
Yeah, this game is just going back and forth. Oh my, no.
Uh-oh. Draw the re-engage King Annihilator.
What?
King Annihilator right now. He is just not playing well this series at all. It just feels like there's like a lot of the players in this series that we've come to know and love and that are good are just not showing their stuff in the proper times.
And I mean, Out of Blue is just this one shining beacon now. We were talking about how it was the light that needed to come through from the side of Team Ishtar, but now MG Element are the ones who are starting to run out of lights. And
look at the damage.
What is this Runner 90 build? Are they going Chem Tank Diana?
I don't know. And you know what? I don't know if I actually hate that, because you don't need to go full damage because of the rest of your team. You need to be able to survive the damage that is dealt to you. It's creative. I don't know if it's better than just going, you know, what Diana typically does, but I don't necessarily hate it. It sounds like you hate it.
I don't like it.
Okay, that's fair.
As someone who's
Oh
played a
no!
lot of as someone who's
Now, if
played
he
a
had
lot
a
of
turbo
Diana
chem
this
tank, he might have survived there. That said, the Baron is being pinged here by Team Ishtar. The team that we have doubted is evened up the goal total and is looking for a 20.5-minute Baron.
This is incredible from Team Ishtar, though. I have to give them credit because they've been able to execute on this absolutely bonkers comp coming through and sort of going against the grain.
Oh, Venom walked in and died. He didn't get his ultimate off.
Oh my goodness, this is
Are they
starting to
gonna
fall
try
apart.
stop this? I feel like they have to try to stop this, but they're not going to. Out of blue, late game carry, King Annihilator will back off as they will do nothing but watch the Baron fall.
I don't know, it's an interesting call, and I mean, even more so for MG Element to just sort of give that one over without much of a fight. I mean, Venom just walked up and didn't accomplish a whole lot. Team Ishtar are getting sort of donated a lot of these kills now, and it's kind of weird.
Yo, listen, if PayPal's are being shared right now, like, I'll get mine.
Yeah, it must be like, yo, hit me up. I mean, paypal.me/half-Asian-dad, you know. I'm still using the old name there, but, you know, this is sus. This is really weird. I mean, not all PayPal jokes aside and everything.
Yeah.
It's been a good comeback from Team Ishtar, but what has happened with MG Element? They just seem to have lost their mojo.
I don't know if they necessarily have, like, lost their mojo per se, but I think that maybe they think they're a lot stronger than they are because of how the game was going prior and realistically how strong their champions are as a whole, because, you know, there's no denying it. They have picked 5 very strong champions, and now this would be a big kill on the Druban if they can get it done. He's going to get a big shield. Out of blue will be able to kite it out and get the kill. Tygoon getting very low, but Voperto is here to cut down Runner 90. Axes and all. King Annihilator went on to Voperto originally, but over the wall, it's the Zap from Out of Blue, who's trying to get into the fight. Ultimate goes down onto them, which means the Olaf is going to be able to throw his axes and slam them down. Triple kill for Voperto.
And it just seems like it's Voperto on this Olaf, which we said was sort of a 25-minute win condition. It's definitely going to be 25 minutes, and it's still going to be a win condition afterwards. 8-1-9. They've been able to come off the board with a lot of damage. This Jinx is still so scary, though. You know, coming through from Out of Blue, chick in the wing. Oh no. Okay.
You went for it. Now, you mentioned the Jinx is going to be scary, right? But the problem is, there's no front line for this Jinx. Late game carry on this Rakan is not a front line. Venom is going to go into the death realm. Runner 90 is going to try to get to the back line, as well as King Annihilator. And that's been the biggest problem, is that Out of Blue in these fights is not necessarily out of position, but out of options for people to stand in front of them.
It's just an odd situation to end up that way. It looks like they're going to move towards this dragon, and this is sole point for
5v4.
Team Ishtar. Yeah, this is 5v4. This could be a pretty messy fight.
Yep, and this is a fight that I think MG Element really needs to win. Runner 90 trying desperately to find a way in. Venom is going to pull in too. Here comes the ultimate. It's going to go down onto 2 members. Down goes Tygoon, back in the fight. Look at Out of Blue. He's been knocked up. He's going to dash to the side. But Druban does so much damage to the Empire, if anybody remembers that. Out of Blue are gone golden. It is a 3v2, making it a 2v1. Can Voperto get the job done against the 2 strong carries? No, he cannot. He gets tuckered out and falls. Shut down for Venom. And a 5-for-3. Plus a dragon for MG Element.
Oh my goodness, MG Element brought it back. Somehow they've been able to right the ship, and a huge shutdown on Voperto picked up by Venom there. They are really, really, really happy about that, because that fight could have gone either way for the longest time. I think that the fact that Tygoon died so early on into that was a huge boon for them, and now MG Element have been able to sort of steady the compass a little bit. You know in Pirates of the Caribbean where he's like following the compass around and then it finally like is able to point in the right direction. That's sort of what happened there. But I mean, they've been drunkenly walking around for the last 15 minutes trying to find a direction, and it seems like they finally found it. And it's amazing to me that the team that has this super fed Jinx was just struggling, and it's not even Chem Tank on the Diana, it's Sunfire. What the heck?
It's so crazy because MG Element were so far ahead in the early goings and then managed to fall behind. But you know what? They had their ace in the hole. They had their jar of dirt in the format of Out of Blue. I couldn't even complete that, man. The Pirates of the Caribbean references are too strong. They had their jar of dirt in the form of Out of Blue. And guess what's inside of it? 12 kills, 2.5 items right now, and a very scary proposition in what? Probably about 1,000 gold?
I mean, it's incredibly close. I mean, the gold lead doesn't really matter at this point anymore, right? So, like...
Oh, I more so meant Jinx getting that Infinity Edge.
Oh, yeah, Jinx getting her Infinity Edge in, yes, 1,000 gold.
Oh, she's getting
never mind. Yeah, she's got it.
Well, she had 1,500 in the inventory, so...
She's massive at this point, and still will be for an extended period of time. I mean, it's really challenging to spot where you find this Jinx just sort of giving up the game in a lot of ways, because, as you mentioned, Jinx is one of those tried and true scalers in a lot of ways, but at the same time, look at the other side of the rift. Chicken the Wing, level 14, they're going to start upgrading some of these items. That is also scaling. That is inevitable in a lot of ways, so... It's this game's within 1,000 gold. We've gotten almost 2 kills a minute. It's just ridiculous. They're giving blue buff to Out of Blue. What?
They have to. They have to.
They have to.
Why? Because you don't want him to be out of blue. Oh. You want him to have all the blue. How badly do you hate me for that one?
No comment. That was awful.
Some of these backs coming out, maybe at an opportune time here for MG Element to just take the Baron if they really want to. They see a couple of members caught out, and they're just turning on it right now. Out of Blue has a lot of attack speed and is just like, yo, guys, come on. I learned something this weekend. Sometimes when you have a lot of kills, you just have to say, guys, I'm going to carry the game.
Drubin stopped the snowball really early there. Ooh. I think it might have been at the max range. This is really scary now. What?
What is going on here? It looks like they're going to take it. It's going to go to runner 90. Here comes the engagement. Drubin's pulled into the Death Realm. Venom is going to be able to get that kill. King Annihilator on the side. Here's the big engagement. Horn hits only one member. Death by video game will fall. That means Out of Blue will live. Double kill. Triple kill for the Jinx. Do I hear a quadra kill? They've spotted out Tygoon. He's got to flash away, and he will live to fight another day. A 4-for-1 plus a Baron for MG Element.
Yeah, just continuously pushing forward their advantages. Tygoon's not going to be able to reset either. Runner 90 is just going to run interference. Is this the game for MG Element?
It potentially could be, Adam. We have 10 seconds on Drubin. Make it 12 on Death by Video Game. Voperdo going to be up soon as well. They're going to take the inhibitor. They're just stand tall and up to walk it back with the next dragon coming up in about a minute.
Yeah, looks like they're going to play it as safe as possible. But, I mean, in the same vein as... Oh, my goodness.
Whoa, that was a lot of damage. But Venom might have a chance here. Never mind.
What?
Whoa, the swag flash by Venom. He's going to pay for that one. But does manage to go 1-for-1 and keeps the strongest member of Team Ishtar off the map.
I was about to say, like, having this Nunu, it doesn't clear Baron waves that well, but I mean, they can't clear waves if they're dead. That's another thing that you could do. Venom goes through with the golden gauntlet Noi, smashing them down. And that's a good 1-for-1. I mean, yes, you're giving up a Baron on one of your members. You're giving over a pretty significant shutdown as well, but you keep Nunu off of the map. That's someone who's been so painful for you to deal with, and it opens up this Baron for you once again. This is going to be soul point for both of these teams if they can find it. Viperdo's stolen 2 already. We'll see if they can do it again.
They have their work cut out for them, but it's easier on this side of the map as Olaf. You just get to run your bungus butt up and go and try to smite it away. Looks like Drubin has respawned and is certainly looking for Out of Blue here. Look at all the damage. Out of Blue is resurrecting. Oh no, that could be bad on the other side of the map. No. It's going to be a shutdown, but here is the fight. Tygoon trying to cut it out, do some damage. He's pulled into the Death Realm. He shifts over the wall, though. So much damage. Tygoon can't run away.
Oh,
Tygoon's
no.
going to die over the wall. Runner 90 has gone golden, but will
Venom.
fall. It's Venom in late game carry against the World 4v2, but he's making it happen. They're getting so low. Kills Voperdo. Kills the Nautilus. Chicken the Wing is the next target. He's got a triple kill.
Drubin is gonna be the only one to maybe stay alive as well, but it's interesting because neither of these members have Baron anymore. They won't be able to, or they might be able to get a Nexus turret from it late game carry. Dude, he's already in base, don't worry about it. But yeah, Venom versus Drubin, this has been sort of an interesting mid-game development in terms of the 1v1, and my goodness, this Nunu does so much damage as well.
Yeah, but look at Venom and all the damage he does. Gets him so low and beats the tar out of him. A solo kill, and he takes the first Nexus turret. Here comes Tygoon saying, "You killed my friend. I'm going to kill you too, buddy." But late game carry has shown up to the party. And Venom will walk away, taking out 2 Nexus turrets.
Yeah, and my goodness, this game just refuses to quit the action. They are able to pick up both Nexus turrets. That base is looking mighty naked there. Not a whole lot to defend you from just losing the game off of a backdoor at this point. But, you know, this Aurelia, we mentioned it as being sort of this super power point for them. It hasn't been spectacular. It's been okay. Like,
Even there.
Like, a lot of the kills are just on this Jinx and on this Mordekaiser, and in the last couple of fights, Jinx has been killed really early on. I mean, just taken down by the Nunu on the side, but now Venom has emerged once again from the ashes. Absolutely ridiculous to think that Venom would ever have anything short of an absolutely MVP for performance once again.
The symbiote has arrived and is looking to run down the team. Pulls Voperdo into the Death Realm. Now out of blue is going to be able to get the kill on the Voperdo on the backside, trying to kite out Drubin, expertly so. Runner 90 with the help of King Annihilator on the back line, and is going to help take down the Ezreal. It's 3 kills to Runner 90, 6 on the game for him, a clean ace, and nothing but a Nexus in front of him.
Yeah, they're able to overpower this plucky Team Ishtar comp, and somehow, some way, they're able to get themselves over the line. An incredible performance from both of these teams, but MG Element are the ones sitting on match point.
Venom and Out of Blue, it was their show. It was their game. Drubin tried to spoil the party a little bit and had a great game themselves, but, you know, they got the Jinx kill at that dragon, yeah, but I can't help but wonder, what if they were in that team fight?
If they were in that team fight, maybe things go a little bit differently. It's really hard to gauge what these two teams could have been in a lot of ways. And I think that's the main moral of the story. It's that this team Ishtar, they were able to bring themselves back, but then just a couple of really poor fights ended up turning the tides back in favor of MG Element. And for MG Element, I mean, they should have won that game by 20 minutes, it felt like, with how fed that Jinx was. It seems like they just sort of lost their way a little bit. The map got eaten up by the dog. You know, the GPS started shooting them over to Netherlands or something. They were getting really lost in the sauce for a bit, but somehow they were able to right the ship. And I mean, if you've got 29 out of 40 kills through Venom and Out of Blue, like, you take those, you take whatever you can get. But my goodness, it was not the cleanest performance.
No, it was not. And we will see if any of these teams can clean up their performance as we are going to head to the Game 4 Pro Draft match point for MG Element. We will be back very shortly. We'll give you all the action soon.